Hi, how's it? Next part, go check out the previous part. In the previous part, I was explaining to you guys what happened when I arrived in Botswana in this dream, how it is that this dude was just very standoffish and he was sending for me rather than him meeting me personally and privately. His sister, then in the dream was welcoming. She liked me unangata as a person. She wasn't born again. I didn't get a sense or a vibe of her being a Christian, but first of all, I found myself, as soon as I said I don't want to marry this man, I found myself all of a sudden locked. It's like I was kept, not locked but kept in some room in this house, right? I was kept in this room. It was actually Moletzan, not Mapetla, but you get my point. Same thing. More or less same neighborhood. I was kept in this room, and I understood that they wanted to keep me there until I changed my mind. But I was kept in there with his sister. And I looked at his sister, and I was like, I can't marry your brother. And as soon as I said, I can't marry your brother, visions came to me. Visions. Visions inside this dream. And all of a sudden, this guy, guys. Remember, I told you that in order for me to get to a point where I'm now in Botswana, this guy would have had to have a clean bill of health, a clean, statistics sheet. He would have had to have, a clean, no kids, no former wife or divorces or anything like that, because that's the only thing that will convince me that this dude is from the Lord. And therefore I would have had to believe that this guy has a clean slate, no baggage. But as soon as I told the sister, I don't want to marry your brother, all of a sudden I got a vision in the dream of this guy's, not so much, I don't know if it was an ex-wife or a baby mama, ne? In the dream, it was not confirmed if Mengui ex-wife or a baby mama. Nje, azang wamchata, kodwa, there were kids that were abandoned by him. And they were linked to this woman who was shown me in this vision. And there was another woman as well that was just flashing in my face, that just kept on being shown me. Mara, I didn't understand what her capacity was. So a woman was shown me, and then another woman linked to two kids that were not being taken care of by this guy. Mara, nele bana bahai. And they were sort of kind of hidden. Almost as if though this guy wanted nothing to do with them. He wasn't taking responsibility. So I suspect that this woman might have been a wife or an ex-wife or umfazi or amkipela malobola. You know, black people think they can walk away from lobola. According under customary law, that's a whole marriage. You're married. It's a contract. It's been signed. It's sealed. But sometimes when you pay only half the lobola, or you only pay lobola, but you don't actually sign under customary law to become a wife or to become man and wife, signed under cause of this country, people think they can just run away from lobola like it's nothing. But it is a whole confirmation of a marriage according to the Bible. The moment you pay dowry for a woman, she's your wife. So these people that have paid and part ways, like for instance what happened with Nomzamo Mbata and that dude South African Idols or whatever, the dude unsize lobola, but then they decided to they don't want each other anymore, and Nomzamo is walking around thinking she's a single woman. According to God, she's not. She's married to Kayam Taitwa. Thank you, that's his name. She's married. So just the haphazard glapa throwing of yourself into a relationship thinking that ilobola is not the tantamount of marriage. In the sight of God, it is, because dowry is a fulfillment of a marriage covenant. It is. And so I think that this woman, I never picked up wife vibes, but I picked up something like an unpreparedness to acknowledge that this is a marriage. And I have a feeling it's because ilobola was paid, but they broke up. And so they think they can just walk their separate ways, and that's not a marriage. Whereas it's recognized as such in the sight of Jesus. And this other woman, I believe, was potentially just a baby mama, but she had abandoned by tuna, this guy, but he wasn't taking care of them. And this history, yonke, it was shrouded in darkness, hidden, in the sense that this guy never gave it to me. He never told me that there was a woman, walobola, and another one, onanglebana by two, because these people were so out of his life. He was so not taking care of them. He was so in denial and rejecting the fact of them belonging to him that I would likely, if at all I didn't have the kind of gift that I have, I wouldn't have even known that baby mama ofra le mosadi o ba montsheditseng lobola that he's no longer with. He will have hidden this information, all of it, from me. And this is because of having listened to me for a long amount of time on my social media, talking about what I asked for in a man, what I asked the Lord for in a man, and how it is that he would have fallen short in so very many respects, especially the baggage that he comes with. His former wife, his two kids, his baby mama drama. and known that I would not be prepared to accept him. But he would have been so besotted with me. He would have been so, in love, like just beguiled by me, essentially mesmerized, that he would have been like, futhi laba fazi laba, and they're no longer in my life, and those two kids angbazi mina, like, they'd be dad vibes. She doesn't have to know. So he would present to me the picture of, I don't have a wife. For my wife, I've never been married. I don't have any kids. And it would have been believable if I didn't have a spiritual gift. And it was only at the stage in this dream when I told his sister that I don't want to marry the brother that the vision of these women came and these children. So I don't know if God was showing me that the sister would be the one to just spill the beans because she would feel guilty. Like, this sister, like I said, she did not give me the vibes of a godly, virtuous woman that does not want a poor and unfortunate other godly, virtuous woman to find herself with a bad man. It's almost as if though she was in the world, right? Essentially a pagan, because I gauged a lot of like ancestral worship and practicing of funny little like dark arts in this household among even family members, right? But this woman had compassion for me because she looked into my life and looked at me and gauged my story and imagined that I've already suffered enough. I don't have this coming. Like the level of deception that the brother was about to enter me into. This woman looked at me and felt sorry for me. It was like she had compassion on the fact that I'd already gone through so much. Like she had my story. Like the whole family would have seen me on Facebook, watched me suffer, known that I lost family, friends. I'd been persecuted for years, and the brother was just such a charlatan and such a bad man, like such a dark, ominous man. And his family knows that utwele, like he's very heavy into the occult, like darkness that is exorbitant. That the sister ended up feeling like I know what he's into, and if you were just some bougie girl, just some slay queen that he decided to go and marry, I would have felt nothing. But given that I have seen Historisako on social media, I'm hurting because I know my brother has deceived you. You would never accommodate a man like him. He's too filthy, he's too dark. She looked at me like that. She felt sorry for me because she knew I'd been through hell and back, and that I was about to be put into more hell by her brother. So I suspect that in that dream I was being shown that as soon as I told her I don't want to marry your brother, she very likely, either I might have broken out into a vision, or she confessed to me to save me from her brother, because out of all the women he's brought along, I am the least deserving of this rubbish. And so Mjefela, just as like a woman to woman, she decided to blurt out, you know what, my brother actually has got these two kids he's not taking care of, this one baby mama, this wife, and I can understand why you don't want to be with him, because he's lied to you all along. And it was my conversation with the sister, or me being in this dark room where I was locked with the sister, like Nikilokilwe in this room, almost as if though I was being held hostage against my will. It was in this room that the decision was sealed, and the sister agreed to help me escape. And I say the sister agreed to help me escape because as soon as I said, I'm not sure I want to do this, I'm not comfortable, this dude, remember, he was in the business of sending for me. Next part.